The subtle signs. Decoding the mystery of attraction can feel like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep moving. You've probably found yourself in that familiar, frustrating headspace, replaying every conversation, analyzing every look, and wondering if she's just being a naturally warm person or if there is a secret fire burning beneath the surface. Is that lingering smile just a sign of a good friendship, or is she secretly playing out vivid scenes of the two of you in her head when she's alone? Reading the room is an art form, but the truth is that most women won't hand you a roadmap to their feelings. Instead, they drop specific subconscious breadcrumbs, small, almost invisible cues that are fueled by a shift in their internal chemistry. These are the glitches in the matrix of a platonic friendship that reveal a much deeper romantic fantasy. If you've been feeling a shift in the energy lately, that inexplicable spark or a sudden tension that wasn't there before, it is time to stop the guessing game and start paying attention to the hard data. We aren't looking for grand, sweeping cinematic gestures. We are looking for the subtle psychological leaks that occur when someone is trying to play it cool while their heart is racing. Attraction is a powerful force that manifests in the body before the mind even has a chance to filter it. By understanding the biology and psychology of these signals, you move from a place of uncertainty to a place of clarity. You no longer have to wonder, what if? Because the body rarely lies, even when the lips are staying silent. In this deep dive, we are breaking down the top 10 most reliable science backed signs that she is fantasizing about a future, or even just a moment with you. We're going beyond the basic "she laughed at my joke" cliches and getting into the nitty gritty of nonverbal communication, proximity, and emotional mirroring. These signs are the keys to the kingdom, but they require a sharp eye and a grounded perspective. You need to be able to distinguish between someone being polite and someone who is genuinely captivated by your presence. It's about noticing the difference between a glance that lasts a split second and a gaze that feels like it's pulling you in. As we move through these segments, pay close attention to how these behaviors start to stack up. A single sign might be a coincidence, but when these cues begin to overlap and repeat, the answer is usually staring you right in the face. This isn't just about learning what to look for, it's about learning how to feel the rhythm of her interest. By the end of this, you'll have a masterclass in attraction at your fingertips, allowing you to navigate your interactions with a newfound sense of confidence. The guesswork ends here. Let's strip away the fluff, ignore the noise, and get direct about what is actually happening when she looks at you. It's time to find out if she's dreaming of you or if you're just another face in the crowd. She passionately stares at you. Understanding the difference between a polite glance and a passionate stare is the key to unlocking what she's really thinking. We all use eye contact to navigate social situations, but when attraction enters the equation, the eyes transform into a powerful, nonverbal broadcasting system. A polite glance is functional. It's what she gives the barista or a casual acquaintance to acknowledge their presence. A passionate stare, however, is intentional, heavy, and filled with unspoken meaning. It's the kind of look that feels like it's physically pulling you toward her. When a woman is attracted to you, her eyes will often do the heavy lifting long before she ever gathers the courage to say a word. She isn't just looking at your face to be polite, she is taking you in, observing your features, and subconsciously trying to build a bridge of intimacy across the room. The most obvious tell is the lingering look. In a normal platonic conversation, people tend to break eye contact every few seconds to avoid making things awkward. But when she's fantasizing about you, that social clock breaks. She will hold your gaze just a few beats longer than what is considered normal. It might only be an extra 2 or 3 seconds, but in the world of psychology, those extra seconds are everything. That linger is a sign that she is captivated by you and is momentarily lost in the connection. If you find yourself locked in a gaze that feels like it has its own gravity, she isn't just being friendly. She is signaling a deep, focused interest that she likely isn't even aware she's projecting. Another massive indicator is what experts call the quick avert. This happens when you catch her staring from across the room, and the moment your eyes meet hers, she suddenly jerks her gaze away, perhaps looking down at her phone or at a friend. While this might feel like she's disinterested, it's actually the opposite. This reaction is a classic sign of being caught in a fantasy. She was likely imagining a scenario with you, and the sudden reality of you looking back triggered a surge of shyness or vulnerability. It's a defensive reflex. She's worried her eyes gave away too much, and she's trying to hide the intensity of her feelings. If she looks away quickly, but then eventually looks back, she is definitely playing a game of attraction. If you want a sign that is scientifically impossible to fake, you have to look at her pupils. This is a purely biological response, controlled by the autonomic nervous system. When humans see something they desire, find exciting, or feel a strong emotional pull toward, their pupils naturally dilate. It's an involuntary opening up of the eyes to take in more of the person they are attracted to. If the lighting in the room is normal, but her pupils look like large, dark saucers while she's talking to you, her body is literally screaming that she's interested. You can't consciously control your pupils. So if you see this, you're looking at a raw, unfiltered biological green light. Finally, pay attention to the quality of her eyes. When a woman is fantasizing or feeling a deep draw toward you, her eyes will often appear soft or relaxed. This is the opposite of the sharp, alert gaze we use when we're stressed or just making professional conversation. A softening of the eyes happens when the facial muscles around the sockets relax, giving her a warm, dreamy, or even slightly heavy expression. It's a look of admiration and comfort. It's as if she's mentally leaning into you, imagining what it would be like to be in your space. When you combine that soft gaze with those dilated pupils and the occasional sneaking glance, you aren't just looking at a friend, you're looking at someone who is deeply invested in the idea of you. She's constantly touching you. Physical touch is the ultimate bridge builder, and perhaps the most undeniable sign of attraction in the human playbook. While words can be rehearsed and eye contact can be faked, the impulse to reach out and make physical contact is often a raw, subconscious drive. When a woman is fantasizing about you, she will naturally crave a sense of closeness that goes beyond just standing in the same room. She starts looking for ways to break the touch barrier, effectively testing the waters of your chemistry to see how you respond to her presence. This usually starts small, so small you might almost miss it. It's that light, seemingly accidental brush of her arm against yours while you're walking together, or a playful nudge against your shoulder when you say something funny. These aren't just clumsy mistakes, they are tactical, often unconscious moves designed to establish a physical bond and gauge your comfort level with her being in your personal space. To really understand what's going on, you have to pay close attention to the lingering quality of her touch. In a strictly platonic friendship, touch is brief and functional, a quick high five or a pat on the back. But when she's interested, the physics of the interaction change. If she hands you a coffee or a pen, watch if her fingers trail over yours for just a second too long. If she's fixing something on you, straightening your collar, brushing a stray hair off your shirt, or adjusting your sleeve, she is creating a reason to be intimate with you under the guise of being helpful. This is called preening, and it's a high-level attraction signal. She's essentially claiming space on your body, signaling to herself and others that she feels comfortable enough to be in your most private bubble. It's a way for her to communicate warmth and care without having to risk a direct verbal confession. The location of the touch also speaks volumes about her level of comfort and desire. A hand resting on your forearm or shoulder is a classic sign of building rapport. But when she moves to more supportive areas, like the small of your back or your upper back, the stakes are much higher. Resting a hand on your back while she speaks to you indicates a massive amount of trust and protective warmth. It's a gesture that says she feels safe with you and wants you to feel safe with her. It's a very grounding, intimate type of contact that you rarely see between just pals. If she finds excuses to stay in contact, maybe she leans her shoulder against yours while you're both looking at something on a phone, She is trying to sync her body with yours. She's looking for that spark that happens when two people are physically aligned, and she's waiting to see if you'll lean back into her. You also need to look for playful physical contact, which is the perfect cover for flirting. If she's always giving you a gentle shove during a joke or playfully grabbing your arm when she laughs, she is using humor as a shield to explore physical closeness. This kind of high energy touch is a way for her to discharge the nervous tension she feels around you. When she's fantasizing about you, being near you actually creates a physiological spike in her system, and touching you is her way of grounding that energy. If you notice that she doesn't touch other people in the group this way, if her hands seem uniquely reserved for your arms, hands, and shoulders, then the message is loud and clear. She isn't just a touchy person, she is a person who is specifically drawn to you, and she is using the language of touch to see if you're ready to cross that bridge with her. Laughter and emotional mirroring. Laughter is one of the most powerful social glues in existence, but when it comes to attraction, it functions as a high speed elevator to intimacy. If you notice that she is consistently laughing at your jokes, even the ones that you know deep down are total duds, you aren't just looking at someone with a great sense of humor. You're witnessing the halo effect in real time. In psychology, the halo effect occurs when someone's physical attraction to you spills over into how they perceive your personality. Because she is already captivated by you or fantasizing about being with you, her brain is primed to view everything you do in a glowing, positive light. This means your bad jokes don't land with a thud, they land with a spark. She isn't necessarily faking that laughter to be polite. Her brain is actually amplifying the pleasure she feels in your presence, making her experience your humor more intensely than anyone else in the room. This constant laughter serves a vital biological purpose. It releases a flood of dopamine and endorphins in her system, creating a reward loop that she begins to associate specifically with you. Every time you make her chuckle, she feels a rush of happiness and relaxation, which lowers her social defenses and makes her feel a deeper, more immediate connection to you. Subconsciously, she is using laughter as a tool for positive reinforcement. She wants the interaction to continue. She wants you to keep talking, and she wants to signal that she is genuinely enjoying the time you're spending together. If you look around and notice that you're the only person she's responding to with that level of enthusiasm, it's a clear sign that you've occupied a special category in her mind. Her laughter is her body's way of saying she's happy, comfortable, and completely tuned into your frequency. Beyond the sound of her laughter, you need to look for the chameleon effect, better known as emotional and physical mirroring. This is one of the most fascinating aspects of human psychology because it happens entirely beneath the level of conscious thought. When two people are deeply in sync, or when one person is intensely interested in another, they will subconsciously begin to mimic each other's body language. It's an ancient survival mechanism designed to build trust and rapport by showing the other person, I am just like you. We are on the same team. If you lean in closer to whisper something and she immediately leans in to meet you, or if you take a sip of your drink and she reaches for hers a few seconds later, you are seeing mirroring in action. She is essentially creating a physical echo of your movements to establish a sense of harmony and mutual understanding without saying a single word. This mirroring effect builds a massive amount of subconscious trust. When her body language matches yours, whether it's crossing her legs the same way, tilting her head at the same angle, or even matching your speaking pace and tone, it creates a bubble of intimacy that feels incredibly safe and rewarding. It's her body's way of signaling that she is fully present and with you in every sense of the word. For someone who is fantasizing about you, mirroring is a way to bridge the gap between two individuals and create a unified connection. It's a sign that she isn't just listening to you, she is experiencing the moment with you. When you combine this physical synchronization with her constant, appreciative laughter, you're looking at a woman who is not only interested, but is actively trying to deepen the bond every second you are together. Curiosity and proximity. When a woman starts moving beyond the weather and work talk to ask you deep, probing questions, she is essentially performing an emotional deep dive into your soul. This isn't just getting to know you in a polite sense, it is a calculated attempt to map out the landscape of your character. If she is asking about your childhood memories, the specific fears that keep you up at night, or where you realistically see yourself in 5 years, she is looking for the raw data of who you are beneath the surface. These questions are a massive indicator that she is fantasizing about a future where you are a permanent fixture. She's checking for alignment. She wants to know if your values, your ambitions, and your emotional baggage fit into the life she's already mentally rehearsing with you. In her mind, she isn't just talking to a friend, she's interviewing a potential partner to see if the real you matches the version of you she's been dreaming about. This level of intense curiosity shows that she values your thoughts and experiences as a priority in her life. Most people stay on the surface because it's safe and easy, but she is intentionally inviting you to share your vulnerabilities. This process, known in psychology as self disclosure, is the foundation of building deep emotional intimacy. By asking you to open up, she is subtly creating a secret world that only the two of you inhabit. She wants to know what makes you tick, what makes you laugh, and what makes you persevere, because that knowledge gives her a sense of closeness and ownership over the connection. If you find that your conversations always seem to drift into these deep waters, it's because she is actively trying to anchor herself in your life. She's looking for the green lights that tell her a long term connection isn't just possible, but inevitable. Complementing this emotional curiosity is the undeniable pull of physical proximity. You need to start noticing the coincidences that aren't actually coincidences at all. If she consistently ends up in your immediate vicinity, whether it's at a crowded social gathering, a professional meeting, or even a casual outing, it is because she is subconsciously gravitating toward your energy. Proximity is the physical manifestation of desire. If there are 50 empty chairs in a room and she chooses the one right next to you, she is making a definitive statement about where she wants to be. She is creating a strike zone where a connection can happen naturally. She wants to be within arm's reach so that the opportunity for a conversation, a touch, or a shared look is always available. This behavior often extends to her bumping into you in places she knows you frequent. If she starts showing up at your favorite coffee shop at 8 a.m. or happens to be at the gym at the exact same time you are, she is likely engineering these moments to maximize her time around you. It's a subtle way of weaving her life into yours without being overly aggressive. She is creating a shared reality where your paths crossing feels like fate, but it's actually driven by her heart leading the way. When someone is always just there, it's a sign that they are emotionally drawn to you and are looking for any excuse to bridge the gap between you and me to us. She is making herself available, showing you through her constant presence that you are exactly where she wants to be. She gets jealous easily. Jealousy is an emotion that often gets a bad rap, usually associated with toxic behavior or deep seated insecurity. However, when we strip away the drama and look at it through the lens of early stage attraction, it serves as a powerful, high voltage signal that she sees you as more than just a casual acquaintance. In a strictly platonic friendship, if you talk about a date you went on or another girl you find attractive, your female friend will usually be supportive, curious, or even give you advice. But if this woman is secretly fantasizing about being with you, her reaction will be fundamentally different. You'll notice a subtle emotional shift, a sudden drop in the room's temperature the moment another woman's name enters the conversation. This isn't necessarily because she's a possessive person, it's because she's experiencing a raw moment of emotional vulnerability. In her mind, she's already building a bridge toward you, and the mention of competition feels like someone is trying to knock that bridge down. To catch this sign, you have to be observant of the micro reactions that happen when your attention is divided. If you're at a party and you spend 10 minutes talking to someone else, watch how she treats you when you return. Does she seem a little shorter with her answers? Does her body language go from open and warm to slightly guarded or off? This pulling back is a defensive mechanism. She is protecting her heart because in her fantasies, she's the one who should be occupying your time and focus. She might try to play it cool, But the fear of losing the connection she's mentally cultivated with you is hard to hide. This slight flicker of protectiveness is actually a massive compliment. It means she values your attention so highly that she isn't willing to share it easily. She sees a potential us in her head, and any other woman is a direct threat to that vision. Sometimes this jealousy manifests as playful interrogation. She might ask seemingly casual questions like, "So, how do you know her?" Or, "Is she your type?" while wearing a forced smile. Don't be fooled by the lighthearted tone. She is gathering intelligence. She's trying to gauge the depth of your interest in others to see where she stands in the hierarchy of your life. If she starts comparing herself to these other women, perhaps by highlighting a trait she has that they don't, she is actively campaigning for your affection. She wants to remind you why she is the better choice for the fantasies she's already living out. It's her way of saying, "Look at me, not them," without having to risk the rejection of saying it out loud. It's important to distinguish this from red flag jealousy. We aren't talking about controlling behavior or irrational outbursts. We're talking about that sweet, subtle sting that comes from genuine care. It's the way she might get a little quieter when you mention an ex, or the way she tries just a little harder to get your laugh back after you've been distracted by someone else. This brand of jealousy is a sign of investment. It shows that she is emotionally all in on the idea of you. When a woman gets a little territorial over your time, your jokes, or your gaze, she is signaling that she has already claimed a spot for you in her heart. She isn't just a friend watching from the sidelines, she's a player who is deeply afraid of losing the game before it even officially begins.